This is Pulp Fiction, 1994, and it's a film analysis by Moya, Jefferson. So, Pulp Fiction was directed by Quentin Tarantino, and it was produced by Band Apart and Jersey Films, and distributed by Miramax. It was released October 14th, 1994. It was nominated for 7 Oscars in 1995, Best Picture, Director, Actor, Supporting Actress, and Film Editing. And it won a Best Original Screenplay for the 1995 Oscars, and its genre is a crime film and dark comedy. So for the general summary of the movie follows 3 different parts or chapters that are all intertwined with each other. They are Vincent Vega and Marcellus Wallace's wife, where the character Vincent Vega has to deal with the troubles of taking out his boss's wife under his request. The Gold Watch, where the character Butch and his French girlfriend must leave from Marcellus, but also retrieve something very dear to him, his gold watch. And the Bonnie situation, where the character Marcellus and Butch finally meet, however, they are put into an awful situation at a pawn shop, and Butch finally has time to redeem himself to Marcellus. These chapters are not shown in chronological order, but the way the movie starts does come together in the very end. In the movie, you follow a set of main characters that may or may not be in the next chapter. This movie is a very abstract piece by Tarantino about crime, drugs, and redemption. For most of the movie, you might have trouble understanding what is truly going on in each part. When you put all 3 pieces together, you're able to get the true meaning of these. There are many outstanding film elements in Pulp Fiction, but some of the most prominent examples are how he focuses the camera in a scene. For example, Tarantino utilizes a technique with his camera angle where a character is not revealed until later. For example, in these 2 photos shown, we are introduced to Marcellus' wife, Mia Wallace, but only the back of her head is shown. When she finally goes downstairs to meet Vincent Vega for their outing together, the camera follows her feet at a low angle, so we still can't put a figure to her yet. This is done for Marcellus as well. When he is first introduced, we only see the back of his head in this photo, so we don't know his face. But by the way, he's talking to one of our characters, and he takes up most of the frame. We can assume he's in power. Tarantino also utilizes the technique of red lighting to make the character seem more dominant and powerful. One of the ways that Tarantino uses literary elements in the movie Pulp Fiction is by expressing an inner conflict in the character Jules. For example, in the beginning of the movie, we're introduced to Jules as a cold-blooded killer who will kill people who come in the way of his business and those who wrong his boss, Marcellus. However, he faces a miracle where he is shot at and all of the bullets miss him and hit the wall by only a few millimeters. After this crazy event, conflict begins to arise in Jules as he believes that God has given him a second chance to live. He's then faced with a struggle that wraps up at the end of the movie with a robbery at a cafe that he thinks he should quit crime. This conflict is something that is introduced in the start of the movie but ends at the end, highlighting Tarantino's ability to carry conflict throughout a piece while focusing on other characters in the middle of a movie. There are many themes and symbols in this outstanding film, but the one that stands out the most to me is the theme of redemption. There could be 2 examples of this. For example, in the beginning of the movie, character Jules Winfield and Vincent Vega have to retrieve a briefcase for their boss Marcellus. In that process, Jules retrieves the briefcase from a few guys in an apartment and chastises one of the men before killing him for wronging his boss, Marcellus. He uses the Bible verse Ezekiel 25:17, where he says that punishment comes to those who do evil against others. Later at the end of the movie, he uses that same Bible verse for a man who is attempting to rob a cafe, but he uses it in a way that Jules claims he is helping the man, or saving his life, so he can live another day. After this, Jules decides to leave crime and a violent life, redeeming himself. Basically, the same quote he used before for violence was turned into the thing that led him to a non-violent life. Another example could be Butch. Butch in this movie is a character who is a boxer. Marcellus, the boss, tells him to throw his match. Instead, he kills the man. After this, Marcellus is after him. Eventually, Marcellus and Butch get kidnapped in a pawn shop, essentially, after running into each other. Butch escapes, but then decides to go back and help Marcellus, the very man who was out to kill him. After he helps him, Marcellus decides not to try and kill Butch anymore, saying that they're even. This demonstrates another element of remorse and redemption for Butch. I would give Pulp Fiction 5 out of 5 stars. It was a very confusing movie to watch because it is out of order and many scenes seem random at times, but I still give it 5 stars because it is an abstract piece. If you take a step back, you can find lots of meaning and symbols in it. I think Tarantino did an amazing job with the style. There are many times where you can have a good laugh, even in a situation that would be serious in real life. The coloring is amazing, and so is the camera angles. Lastly, I do like the overarching theme of redemption and enlightenment for characters in the story. I would recommend this movie to someone who doesn't want a movie that they have to figure out and they and can take their own thoughts or opinions about it. Basically, someone who likes a movie that is up for temptation. And that's my film analysis.